episode titled Peppa's Clones. It was a normal morning. Everything in the pig family house was calm. Mummy Pig was cooking breakfast in the kitchen. Daddy Pig was sitting at the table reading a newspaper. George was playing on the floor with his dinosaur. Peppa came downstairs and said hello. Everything looked the same as always. After breakfast, Daddy Pig said he was working on a new project. He looked very pleased. Peppa asked what the project was. Daddy Pig said he would show her later. Peppa said nothing. During the day, Daddy Pig went into the garage. He closed the door. Peppa quietly walked closer and tried to look inside. It was dark, but she saw light. She heard a soft sound, as if something was repeating. Peppa stepped away. In the evening, Daddy Pig called her. He said he was ready to show it. Peppa walked into the garage. There was another Peppa. She looked exactly the same. She was standing still. Peppa stopped. Daddy Pig said it was his experiment. He said he made a copy. Peppa said nothing. She walked closer. The clone opened its eyes. It looked straight at her. Peppa stepped back. Daddy Pig said everything was under control. Peppa nodded. At night, Peppa woke up. The house was quiet. She heard footsteps in the hallway. Peppa walked out of her room. There was another Peppa in the hallway. It was not moving. Peppa thought it was the clone. She quietly said her name. The clone did not answer. Then it slowly took a step forward. Peppa closed her door. In the morning, everything looked normal. Daddy Pig was reading the newspaper. Mummy Pig was cooking breakfast. George was playing. Peppa sat at the table. She looked at Daddy Pig. He smiled. Peppa said nothing. During the day, she went to the garage. The door was open. Inside, there were several Peppas. They were standing next to each other, all identical. Peppa did not move. One of the clones turned its head. Then another. Then another. They were looking at her. Peppa quickly closed the door. In the evening, she came back to the kitchen. At the table were Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, and George, and another Peppa. She was already eating. Peppa stopped. She did not know where to sit. The episode was called The Attic Window. Today is a sunny day. Peppa Pig and Rebecca Rabbit are playing hide and seek. Daddy Pig is reading his newspaper, and Mummy Pig is baking a delicious apple pie. The house is very cozy and smells of apples. "Count to 10, Rebecca!" Peppa shouted and ran upstairs. Peppa decided to hide at the very top of the house, in the attic. She climbed the narrow stairs. There were many old things in the attic, boxes, old toys, and even Daddy Pig's old bicycle. At the very end of the attic, Peppa saw a small round window that she hadn't noticed before. What a strange window," Peppa whispered. She came closer. The window was very clean and shiny, but when Peppa looked into it, she was surprised. Outside, the sun was shining brightly, but in the window, everything looked different. There was a thick black forest, and the sky was dark blue, almost night. White fog flew between the trees, looking like cotton candy. "It's a very unusual window," Peppa said. She put her hoof to the glass. The glass was cold, and immediately frost patterns appeared on it, even though the house was warm. Peppa watched blue rabbits jumping in that strange forest. They looked like fireflies. Maybe it's a window to a fairy tale, Peppa thought. She saw Rebecca, who had come up to the attic, but Rebecca looked towards the boxes and didn't see the window. "I found you, Peppa!" Rebecca shouted happily. "Look what I found!" Peppa pointed to the window. Rebecca came over and looked. She saw the usual green hill and the sun. "It's just a window, Peppa," Rebecca said. "Let's go eat pie." Peppa looked into the window once more. It was showing their usual green hill again. But Peppa knew she had seen white fog and blue rabbits. "I just wanted to show you a fairy tale," Peppa smiled. In the evening, when Peppa and George were already in their beds, Peppa looked at the stars through her bedroom window. She knew there was a window in the attic that saw what others didn't. She was warm and calm. She closed her eyes and fell asleep.